In the late 16th century, England was eager to expand its reach into the New World, what would later become the United States. In 1584, Queen Elizabeth I approved an ambitious plan to establish England's first colony in America. Leading the charge was Sir Walter Raleigh, a daring explorer. He chose a small island off the coast of present-day North Carolina, called Roanoke, as the starting point. The land was fertile, the climate mild, and its location strategic, a perfect spot to lay the foundation for the British Empire. In 1585, the first attempt to settle Roanoke failed miserably. The settlers ran out of food, clashed with local Native Americans, and eventually fled back to England. But Raleigh wasn't deterred. In 1587, he sent a new group of 117 people, men, women, and children, to build a permanent community. Leading them was John White, a trusted artist and administrator. Among the settlers were White's daughter, Eleanor Dare, and his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. A hopeful beginning. The group arrived at Roanoke in the summer of 1587. They built wooden houses, planted crops, and tried to make peace with nearby native tribes like the Croatoan and Secautan. But things quickly went wrong. Food supplies dwindled, and tensions with the natives grew after misunderstandings and minor skirmishes. Just weeks after arriving, John White realized they needed urgent help from England to survive the winter. Reluctantly, he left the island, promising to return soon with supplies. As he sailed away, he left behind his daughter, granddaughter, and 116 others on Roanoke. It was the last time he'd ever see them. A delayed return. White reached England just as war broke out with Spain. The Spanish Armada threatened to invade, and every ship was requisitioned for battle. White was stuck, unable to return to Roanoke. It wasn't until 1590, 3 full years later, that he finally secured a ship to sail back to the New World. When he arrived at Roanoke on August 18, 1590, Virginia's 3rd birthday, White was filled with hope of reuniting with his family. An empty island. But when he stepped ashore, he was met with an eerie silence. The Roanoke village was completely deserted. The wooden houses still stood, but they were overgrown with vines and trees, as if no one had lived there for years. There were no signs of a battle, no bones, no blood, just an unsettling stillness. White searched desperately, calling out for his daughter and granddaughter, but no one answered. Then he found a clue. The word Croatoan carved deeply into a tree near the village gate. On a nearby wooden post, the letters CRO were also etched, seemingly unfinished. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, now Hatteras, and a friendly native tribe. Before leaving, White had told the settlers to leave a sign if they moved, and to add a cross if they were in danger. But there was no cross. What did this mean? A mystery without answers. A sudden storm forced White's ship to leave before he could search Croatoan Island. He never made it back to Roanoke, and the fate of the 117 settlers faded into obscurity for centuries. Since then, the Lost Colony has become one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. Theories. Where did they go? 1. Blending with the natives. Some historians believe the settlers moved to Croatoan Island and lived with the tribe there. In the 17th century, reports emerged of Native Americans in Hatteras with gray eyes and light hair, hints of European ancestry. But no solid proof has been found. 2. Attacked. They could have been wiped out by hostile tribes. But if so, why were there no signs of violence at Roanoke? 3. Lost or starved. Perhaps they tried to sail away on makeshift rafts, only to be swept away by storms or die of hunger. 4. Supernatural. Local legends speak of white shadows haunting Roanoke, suggesting a mysterious force claimed them.